Hmm. Are we live? Oh, I saw a black
We
screen there for
are,
just a
yeah.
second. All right. Well, there we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the update preview stream. This is Bugs here. I'm joined today by Artemis and Miss D. That's me. Say hi, guys.
Hell yeah, you did it right.
Oh, yeah.
Hey guys.
Only took like 3 months, 3.5 months. Yeah.
Nah,
We
you
knew we'd
still
get
gonna
there.
do it.
Oh, I'm still going to fuck it.
Yeah, you
Give me
actually
half an
did it
hour.
earlier.
Yeah, give me half an hour. Anyway, how's everyone doing? What do we got going on today? Well, we're showing you over here on the staging branch what is going on in Rust development. As always, there is some cool stuff, including the new clan system. Literally just got merged in this morning, and we are looking it over for like the first time, actually. And there's some interesting things with it. So we'll go through that with you as always, and everything else going on in Rust development. Now, real quick before we do, if you have any questions throughout this whole thing, please do direct your questions to at Miss D underscore that's me in chat. We'll get to as many questions as we have the opportunity to. Also, if you're wondering what's going on with wipes, what's the whip schedule today? Well, for Rustified servers, it is the weekly Thursday wipe servers wiping at their regular scheduled time, which is 3 p.m. local time for the region. That means AU and SEA wiped like 12, 13 hours ago. EU, Main, Small, Baron, Zen Labs, and EUS wiped 3 hours ago. And we've got the US server wipes, US, Main, Small, Baron, and Zen Labs wiping in just 2 hours at 3 p.m. EST. Map wipes only today as we are towards the end of the month, and the forced wipe and update is coming just next week on August 3rd. It's expected to hit at the normal scheduled time, which is 2 p.m. EST, 7 p.m. BST, and it will force a map wipe across the board, along with launching some cool new functionality and features. No forced blueprint wipe in store from what we can see, although next week, most Rustified servers, with the exception of EU and US medium threes, will wipe blueprints because we do wipe blueprints on most servers when the map wipe happens. So, what do we have going on? Well, couple things before I get into the clan system. Just to go through it, parachutes are still out of concept limbo. They are trucking along with great velocity. So it looks like we will see player parachutes coming in soon, but probably not next week. Basically, it's looking like there's going to be the functionality for parachutes to be shot. You're going to be able to jump out, have a parachute equipped. It's going to look like a backpack on your back, unless you're wearing a hazmat suit. And then you'll jump off a place, and then you can deploy your parachute, and then you can steer the parachute down, or you can bust a weapon out and start popping guys uh, below as you drop. But then you won't be able to steer your parachute. But what they added in this week is the functionality for parachutes to actually be shot and damaged as well. And they added a health indicator onto the HUD with that. And yeah, it's coming together, the parachute thing. Not sure when we're going to see it coming in. Maybe it'll be part of the attack helicopter launch. Not sure. That's also out of concept limbo, but we'll keep you posted. Also, over on the Aux 1 branch, we've got weapon racks are still receiving their finishing touches. Last we saw over on Aux 1, there's 4 weapon racks, 3 that you mount on the wall, 1 that's like a floor mounted one. The wall ones have various different sizes, and it's cool because they have like sockets for you to put the guns and various weapons in, and they're just visibly show on the wall, and you can run up to them and just click E on them to pull it right into your hotbar. You don't have to futz with any UI or anything like that, like when you're digging through a box. They've got cool lights on the top of them and everything. Not sure when these weapon racks are going to come in. They might be a DLC. Some people have said maybe it's going to be a DLC, or maybe some of them will be part of a DLC. But given it's not on main staging, I don't give it a 100% chance that they will make it in for the update next week. But we will wait and see. There is already a DLC going live with the update next week, and that is the good old brick skin. This is the latest and third building skin to make it into the game. You can see we have a little brick facade building here to show off some of the details and stuff like that. You can see the interior, the exterior, the nice brickwork and details of it. Really love the vibe of this brick building skin. And this week, what we're seeing is just some various tweaks and touches, finishing touches on the skin itself. And yeah, it's really coming together. It's got some great details, some great various different effects. The inside has a really nice vibe to it. Overall, really, really digging this brick skin. It is, of course, a skin of the stone tier, just like the Adobe building skin. And you're going to be able to purchase it on the item store right before the update next week. It'll probably be around the same price point as the other building skins. And then once you buy it, you just go in game and you can access it via the hammer and the Q or E buttons to scroll through the various building skins you might have. And then you can just upgrade straight to this brick, nice looking brick skin. So we do expect that next week. Also, in the realm of building skins, we got the new Frontier building skin has made an appearance in the commits. Apparently, word on the street is this is going to reflect the old wood skin of Legacy Rust. So if you ever played Legacy Rust, this is going to be a nostalgia overload potentially when this Frontier building skin comes in. It'll probably be the first skin of the wood building tier, which is cool. And there's also a tribalist and or brutalist skin being worked on as well. So not sure exactly what the deal with those are. Don't think either or any of those are going to come in for the August 3rd update because we already have Brick coming in. So probably maybe September, October, we'll see some of these other new building skins make their way in. We've also got the attack helicopter is starting to be worked on again. And this is after a hiatus of a month or so, a couple months of not seeing any commits on it. The helicopter is back in testing. It's actually merged onto the aux 2 branch for internal testing. aux 2 is currently closed to people who are not developers. And so this is just internal development testing now. And then once we see attack helicopter get merged into either aux 1 or the main staging branch, we will be able to show off more what the deal with that new attack helicopter is. But nevertheless, this week, basically, we saw it be added to be available for purchase at Airwolf, just like the other flying vehicles of the game. And yeah, that looks like where's where you're going to get it. Now, let's talk about this clan table because literally this clan system was just merged in. And part of the baseline of it, and I'll be straight, we haven't tested everything with it. We're still figuring it out as well. So this is going to be kind of a live, figure it out and test session. So once again, if you have any questions or you want us to test anything with this clan system, please do Miss D underscore that's me in chat. Yeah. Oh, I made it there. It was close, but I did make it happen. But yeah, do Miss D underscore that's me in chat, and we'll get to the questions that we have an opportunity to. But we can see the start of the clan system is all Genesis at this table. Now, how do we get this table down? Is this a craftable table, or what are we seeing with the table?
Um, Good question. Let me check. Nope, doesn't look to be a BP at the moment.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So
yeah, for the moment it's just in the F1 menu for us for now. So I'm not sure if it's implemented properly.
cool. And that is a good baseline and fundamental thing to remember with all this is it's all subject to change. This literally just got merged into staging today. One of the developers yesterday in some private channels said the clan system will make it in for August if all goes well, but it's not confirmed that it's going well. This could be, scrubbed out of there and we'll might have to wait another month, but we will see. But basically, it does look like the baseline system of this clan system is in place. So let's talk about it. First of all, you need a clan table. Not sure how that will be spawned or if you're going to craft one or if you're going to have to go to some part of the map like outpost or something to access one. I don't know. It would make sense that each clan can craft their own table. That seems kind of weird. But then once you're at the clan table, you can open it and kind of see some of these options to go through. And it's kind of like a team system on crack, I want to say. Like where's my and I want to come over and actually access this myself too. So when you load it up, it's got its own UI. we can see you can see a banner, you can see the name of the clan, and then people are going to love this. You can see 3 at the moment of 100 members. And let's just start with what that does when you're a member of the clan. It's, as I said, like the team UI on Crack. So you can see here we've got purple dots instead of green dots for the team UI. The team UI does look like it overrides the clan UI, but it'll still show the clan tag underneath the name tag. You can see like the name, and then in like carrots, you can see the clan name. But then when you go far away in sight, like similar to how the team UI works as it stands now, you can see that purple dot from pretty far away on the map. And if you look at the right place, the name tag shows up as well. And so, yeah, if Artemis wants to display how far away kind of you can see that purple dot. And I'm not sure if it's going to go live like this with the UI stuff like this. I'm pretty sure if it does, people are gonna fucking hate it. Well, they'll say they'll hate it, but then they'll play it and not mind it, kind of like the team system. But if indeed you can, with this system, go into any server and take 100 people and have then 100 people on basically this different colored team UI, hmm, that's interesting. Now, I was surprised to see this clan system get merged into this version of the game because I was under the impression that the clan system actually was just going to be a part of the Nexus server to server transfer stuff. And if you're not familiar, the Nexus stuff is where you'll have multiple servers that are kind of linked as Nexus is. I should really look up what the fuck Nexus means because I imagine it has some meaning in like linkage or something. But anyway, there's going to be these Nexuses. So there'll be 3 4 servers linked together. They'll share a map wipe time, and they'll share a blueprint uh, wipe. Well, no, they'll share a blueprint database. So if you learn a blueprint in one, then you'll have it accessible in all of the Nexus servers that are linked. It looks like when this launches, it's going to be just a Face Punch official server only thing, and then maybe other over time, maybe other organizations will be able to create their own nexuses and stuff. But originally, the clan system I thought was going to be a way for clans to organize and communicate across various different Nexus servers. But with this going in like this is not like the Nexus stuff is still on aux 2, I believe. This clan system was just kind of parsed out and added to the actual game. So it looks like the clan system might just be part of every regular server coming next week as it starts. And that's interesting. So you can see here, you can do announcements and save the announcements. And then anyone who goes to the table can look it up and see. You can see a list of members. You can invite people. That has a whole ranking system as well with different permissions, which is really cool. So you can kind of create different ranks like farmer or like lieutenant or whatever. And then with each rank, you can have it be hierarchically, you know, positioned, and then you can give different permissions. Like they have the ability to set the MOTD or invite or kick people or promote or demote people, access the logs. You know, there's a bunch of these different permissions that you can give to the ranks, and then you invite a player, and then you add them, you give them a rank. So it really gives clans the ability to, you know, distinguish between different members, have different tiers of and different ranks of members, track all the logs of everything that's happened within the thing, communicate via the announcements and via the MOTD, change settings, all this stuff. So it's yeah, it's an interesting system. It's pretty robust as far as like if you were looking to organize a group of 100 or so people, this system should help you do that. Now, is the normal Rust player gonna love this? I don't know, because it does seem like, for instance, we upped our team UI to 32 on all of our servers just because, like, hey, I figured let's try pushing it. Let's just see, you know, what people do with that. And frankly, we had a lot of complaints about that, the team UI being too much. This, as far as I can see now, effectively changes the team UI on all servers to 100, which is interesting. Now, I don't know what the barrier to entry to creating a clan is going to be. I don't know what the barrier to entry to joining and getting players in is going to be. And quite frankly, all of this is subject to change. It literally just got added to staging the other hour, and it might not even make it in next week. And if it does make it in next week, it might look totally different than what we're seeing here. So I do encourage you all to take this with a grain of salt. But as I was testing it and looking at like what this provides in its state right now on staging, it basically just provides a team UI of 100, a team UI limit of 100. And it seems like you can see those dots from farther away than the team UI, but maybe it's the same. Maybe it's the same. I don't know. But all subject to change. An interesting system though. And I think this will still integrate with the nexuses, that server to server transfer body of work, where if you're part of a clan on one nexus server and you go to a different nexus server, you'll still have access to all the clan information. You'll still have the clan, UI and stuff, I believe, and access to the announcements and all that stuff via a clan table in whatever other server you're in. So interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Not sure exactly if this is going to be implemented this way, but we will see. And based on what the devs said, if this goes well, if all goes to plan, then this will be going live. The system will be going live next week with the August 3rd update and forced wipe. So definitely let me know any questions you have on the clan system. Once again, at Misty underscore, that's me in chat, for any questions you might have, and we'll get to them. But that's an interesting, and you can leave notes for each member, right? So you can communicate to the members through there. You can do different things like that. So interesting system, interesting addition to the game for sure. Now, there's a bunch of other stuff being worked on as well. There is initial work on a homing missile launcher. So, first time we're seeing that. I imagine that has something to do with the attack helicopter as well. Maybe as like a counter to the attack helicopter, they're going to be adding a homing missile launcher so that people from the ground can do ground to air strikes easier, given we're going to have a new predator in the air in the form of this attack helicopter. So we're keeping an eye on that. Also, an interesting one, you can no longer cancel the crafting, or I should say, it no longer cancels the crafting queue when a player goes to sleep. Now, that has some interesting ramifications. I'm not sure the full breadth of them, and we're taking it with a grain of salt because it just changed and we still got a week until the update. But if you think about it, that's an interesting change. No longer cancels the crafting queue when a player goes to sleep. And I
Yeah, I would
do,
love to know if it pauses it or continues it.
yeah. And I imagine it just pauses it. I'm pretty certain it just pauses it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does leave some questions up in the air as to like where those crafting resources stay then at that point and all that stuff. So we'll be testing that out a little bit more this week, so that we have a full idea of what ramifications that has for the update next week. Also, they added an extra collider to the tugboat roof to prevent clipping during the sinking process. Small thing. They also worked on varying world models for ammo. Oh, I think this might be in, so maybe we can test this. Let's drop some ammo on the ground, and depending on how big of a stack of ammo we drop, apparently that will have a different world model. So we'll be able to see if you see an ammo box on the ground, it looks like you'll be able to differentiate while it's on the ground before you pick it up, as far as like how much ammo it is. So, uh,
Yeah, yeah, it's different. Let's have a
yeah,
little
look at
look.
that.
Get a little bit closer.
Yeah, cool. So yeah,
There's
if
a full
it's
one, and that's a single.
yeah, that's pretty sweet. So that's just the varying world models with multiple different types of ammunition. So if you just drop like one bullet on the ground, it'll have a like not full box. And if you drop a full stack on the ground, it will have a full box. Also, there's a ton of miscellaneous art fixes. Originally, this looked like it was just doing some tweaks to monuments and things like that, but it's a transition from just things in the monuments to now things all over the map. Very various different changes, like adjusting the position of the 16x scope on the HMLMG, so there's no clipping on the face, things like that. Fix gear distant LOD, fixing some gaps in the wood crates, and fixing the face on the SAR world model, and various different things. We're going to go through and try to get uh, a a summary of the real biggies. But honestly, the biggest one I've seen so far is how the power lines have looked like absolute straight pixelated garbage for months now. They don't anymore. Part of these August art bug fixes is that the power lines actually look like power lines, not that's like pixel chain that we've been seeing for a long time. And there's a bunch of other, that's just like one example, but there's like a ton of commits on this August art bug fixes branch. And it should just have some nice, visual changes and improvements coming in with the August update. So we're keeping an eye on that. We'll have a summary next week of all the main changes that you can expect from those art fixes. There's also a new branch over on the commits called Tutorial Island. So it looks like maybe they're creating a tutorial island. It looks like they are creating a tutorial island. Now, what would a tutorial island be? I don't know. It could be like a tutorial server where people can go, and it's probably PvE and they can just learn how to play the game and get a sense for that. I don't know if that's just going to be like some face punch servers that they run just so that new people can get a grasp on the game instead of being thrown into the harsh, wasteland of just waking up as a naked on the beach with 400 plus other players in a server. So we'll keep an eye on Tutorial Island. That is a brand new branch. So I don't think we're going to be seeing anything very soon as far as visuals or anything on that, but we'll keep an eye on that as we do all the branches. Also, there is more work on global networked bases, and this is over on Aux 2. And this is the work that I'm really excited about because it stands to reduce hitches and improve frame rates and reduce frame drops when coming into render distance of bases, especially large bases. So we should be able to see bases from farther out. It's basically turning whatever the bases, uh, every element that makes up a base is on the map now. They're being converted to prefabs on the map to be more like the rocks and trees the uh, around the island. So we should be able to see bases from much farther out, and then it's kind of like an LOD system where as you get closer, it'll render higher and higher fidelity versions of the base. But not only should this allow you to, if you're flying a mini copter, dodge a base much before, because if you're hauling ass low to the ground, sometimes like a huge base appears, and by the time the hitches and stuff like that are done, you've already crashed into a windmill and blown up your mini copter. So this should not only help limit instances where that happens, but also should hopefully really help the instances where you just come up on a base and it's like you have huge frame drops and hitches just because it's loading that stuff in. Ideally, that will be a thing of the past when this global networked base stuff comes in. Now, that's once again over on Aux 2 for internal testing. Don't think it's going to be in for the August update just because it is a very large body of work. And if it were to be screwed up, it can screw up some interesting things, I imagine. So I bet they want to test that very thoroughly and make sure they got all edge cases taken care of before pushing it into production. Maybe, though, in September, we will see that base network base, thing come in. There's also more work on the Rail Network Link. This is a new branch we saw the first of last week. And the general thought is that this is going to be a link between the above and below ground rail networks, kind of like I'm almost picturing like a tunnel opening off one branch of the above ground rail network, and it'll just kind of like go down into a tunnel and then all the way down on an incline or decline, I guess, to link up with the below ground rail network and vice versa. So you'll be able to take, the work carts from below ground, potentially up above ground, and bring some trains and cabooses and all that stuff from above ground to below ground, maybe. So that's an interesting little addition that I think would be really good for the game. So we're keeping an eye on that. The branch was only started last week, so I imagine it's going to be another month or two before we see that actually make its way into the game. Now, also, we have a new iteration of Bradley being worked on. I imagine this is due to, in part, the end of Wipe, you know, server events where we have the F-15s flying overhead and the Bradley start spawning all over the map. Maybe this is a new iteration, a new version of the Bradley for end of Wipe. Maybe it's just going to be a new version of Bradley for everything. We will see. There's also work on an extra small single planter. So if you want to plant literally just one little plant, it looks like you will soon be able to do so with the very extra small single planter. And then finally, there's also finishing touches on server chat emojis. And it looks like that's coming in next week. As over here on staging, let's see. Yeah, the emojis are still in on staging and they're really cool. They're animated emojis. They're like, I don't know, maybe a little animated version of Alistair kind of looks like. But they've got really cool Rust vibes and uh a Rust theme and everything, along with just being the classic emojis, and they're animated and cute and all that stuff. And on top of all that emoji work as well, servers can add their own custom emojis. You can see we've added a couple here. And then on top of that, you can do emojis for any item in the game by just you type colon and then start typing the item name like metal, and it'll give you an autocomplete for the different in-game items that you can do. So if you wanted to like broadcast to chat, say, hey, I'm trading, metal for low grade, you could, instead of just saying metal, you could actually do the icon for metal frags and the icon for low grade fuel. And you can also add some of these emojis and stuff like that into, it looks like, the vending machine names and things. So just going to be much more visualization over here on the server chat once that comes in. And it looks like, once again, that will be coming in next week. And yeah, that about does it for everything going on in Rust development this week. Once again, we are 1 week away from the update and forced wipe. So August 3rd, next week, basically 1 week and half an hour from now, we should see that update and forced map wipe going live. Shadow, oh, Jesus, I did it. Miss D, do we have any questions from the audience? I knew I was going to
um,
do it. I said, give me half hour. Look at that. It's almost exactly half hour.
it's all good. Um, yes, we do. And this, as always, start with when is whip?
WIP is at regular scheduled time for Rustified servers today. That is 3 p.m. local time for the region. That means AU wiped like 13 hours ago. EU wiped 3.5 hours ago. US wipes in 1.5 hours. In 90 minutes at 3 p.m. EST is when the US servers wipe. These are the weekly Thursday wipe servers wiping today. Map wipes only, so that's your mains, small, Baron, Zen Labs, EUS over in EU and the like. Yeah, that's what's going on with wipes. It is just a 1 week wipe cycle until the force wipe next week. So, yeah, that's what's going on.
Is there a chance that the BR servers will come back?
It doesn't look like it at the moment. Basically, with BR, the region just kind of failed from infrastructural standpoint. The people we hosted with literally went out of business, and then we bought some machines with a new host, and they were being shipped down there, but they never got down there because the package kept getting stolen out of customs or some shit. And the long and short is there's no viable hosting options down there. It's just not feasible to run a reliably run DDoS protected Rust server down there. And we tried for over 2 years for most of the last year, the server had to be hosted out of Texas because we lost all of our hardware in BR anyway. And it hit the beginning of this year, and it was just like, man, we just pulled the plug on it. We cut our losses with it. And with that, I will in future years explore, if there's big infrastructural changes to the regions, like if a new data center gets installed in Sao Paulo or something like that, and there's some more viable options, I will consider potentially reopening BR. But at the moment, there's no direct plans to do so because it's just not really feasible.
Let me see the next one. Do clan members show up first on the turret auth list?
Interesting. We could
we can test that
we
totally.
could test that. We might have to remove one clan member from the list.
Just kick me.
Yeah, kick Shadow out.
Shadow.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, I'm literally I'm never gonna get this. If anyone in your life ever changes their name, be prepared to just get it wrong for like years.
Well, I've actually been there. A friend that I've had for like 15 years changed his name to his middle name, so I still call him by first name, so I get it.
At least you didn't transition gender, because then I'd be dead naming you, and that's really offensive, apparently. So thank God you're still a woman, because otherwise this would be much more offensive, I think.
Uh,
Although maybe that was offensive. I don't know what's offensive anymore. I should just not say anything.
The intent is good.
well, I
It's all
don't
good.
get easily offended,
Yeah.
so, unless I checked, I'm still a chick, so. Uh-oh.
I know I did that. Yeah, hang on. You need that's the point, right? You wanna have a look? Was he? Or
Say that again?
was he what? Or
Yeah, I'm off.
yeah, sorry, but did you have to auth, or did it auth because you was in the clan?
No, I had to off.
Okay.
And do clan members show up first on the list, or I guess I can come over
If you so I've just de-authed, so try and auth a friend and see if I come up first. In fact, no, you're
Authorize
not in
a
the
friend.
clan. Wait, I have to do it. Wait. That's all right. I have to do it. Bear with me.
Okay. And I de-authed.
So no, it didn't suggest you first.
Okay, good question though. Good question. And this very easily could be one of the things that they just haven't accounted for yet, given the system is brand new and literally just merged into staging for testing a couple hours ago.
That's it. I'm wondering what the benefits are going to be because these could very well change, like you say. Even down to when you access the clan table at the moment, it's still just a placeholder for it. It doesn't say open as it normally would, if you noticed.
Yeah. So definitely still a work in progress. And once again, with the clan system, one of the developers did say to official server owners just yesterday that the clan system might make it in August if all goes well. And so I imagine what they're doing here is they merged into staging. They want people to publicly test it. I think they want to get kind of some feedback from the audience. I got, I'm not a clairvoyant or anything like that, but given I've been following Rust development for the better part of 10 years, I can tell you if this essentially creates just a 100 limit purple team UI, people are not going to be fans of this. If that is what it does, I don't see Reddit going, "Ooh, I can't wait for this to come in." They're taking care of big clans again. We love this. I just don't see that being the case. I don't know. Once again, it's a work in progress, so it might not be the case. It might change. I do think it's a very interesting choice if they do keep it in, creating 100, essentially like a 100-person team UI. Now do all, and potentially
So
maybe
it says
because
a
we're only
200
testing with
pop
3.
map. Imagine you can see half the map.
Yeah, you can see half the people because
Well,
you're just all in one clan. I don't know. Now maybe because we're only testing with 3, maybe it'll only show like a couple of the clan members with
But
purple dots. I
But
don't
then
know.
how would it differentiate who to
Yeah, I have
show?
no
It's so
idea.
weird.
No clue.
Hey,
but I think
actually, is
also
it probably? No, that's a good point. One sec. Because if I remember before,
And Misty, what were you gonna say?
no, I was just about to say that even though there's 100 you can add, doesn't mean that people will do it. I don't think that's gonna change because, right now we have 32 as a max. People don't like rarely run around 32.
Yeah, we we
So
we had a lot of complaints about the 32. If this is a hundo, it's,
no, it's about right.
yeah, but who would do like who is playing with
I can
100
I
people?
can think of a couple
Mm-hmm.
uh Asian characters,
True.
maybe a couple Russian character names.
I mean, the
Nothing but
thing is, if
love,
you can
but
differentiate between a team and a clan as well, who's to say that everyone's gonna exactly be in this, the same base or whatever?
yeah, it's interesting, man. I don't know. That's an interesting game design choice if they leave it like that.
Do
Uh
you
Real interesting. Yep.
do you think server owners can choose to take it on or no?
I imagine there might be combos where server owners can set like clan limit because we can control team UI limit, right? It's default 8, and then a lot of servers change it. Like we did up it to 32, and I know that wasn't the most popular decision, but I will say a lot of groups do love it. But and I believe are or have lowered it on our smaller servers because I did think about it. And if you've got a low pop server with 125 people and the team limit is 32, it's like, yeah, okay, we'll lower that a bit. I think we dropped it to 16 for the lower servers, and our mains are just 32. But if you've got a if you got a low pop server at 125 and 100 people could be on the same team UI essentially, or clan UI, I guess we'll call this. That's interesting. That's interesting. Once again, all subject to change, not even necessarily coming into the update next week, but this is just the current state it is in on staging now. And but one thing I know we can count on is that, especially on Reddit, the Rust community will take a very rational, level-headed, and constructive criticism approach to this. I don't see anyone flaming the devs for doing this. I think it'll just be pure, constructive criticism and responsible adult language involved. Yeah, I think we can count on that. It is interesting though to see this clan UI come in. The clan, once again, just to rehash a little bit, if you're just tuning in, the clan system is on normal staging now. It all kind of centers around this clan table, which currently can only be F1 spawned in. So not sure if that's going to be a table you can craft, or if there's going to be certain instances where you have to go somewhere to access it, or if you have to do something special to get one in your base. But then once you access it, you can see all these different tabs for announcements. You can see the member list. You can see the open invites. You can create and edit the different ranks of people, and the different ranks. Each rank has its own permissions, so you can control, as the leader of the clan, you control, what ranks you have, and then what each rank can do within the people. Can they kick people? Can they set the MOTD? Can they edit the banner? All that good stuff. And so it is pretty robust as far as a permissioning system and everything is concerned for the clans. Then there's also the log system, so you can see what everyone did. You can also control who has access to the logs and stuff like that. So different ranks can have access to the logs. That's another permission. And yeah, so, and once again, I think originally, and I was under the impression this originally was going to be part of just the Nexus servers, so that if you've got a group on one Nexus and a group on another Nexus, they can still have a way of communicating with each other. But and that probably still will be the case, right? But it is definitely an interesting design choice to potentially have the clan system on just any old server, even if it's not linked to any other server. And especially if the default value is 100 members, and each member shows up with a purple dot over their head, a la the team UI. Also, by the way, the team UI once again does override. So if you're on the same team at the moment and on the same clan, you'll just see the green dot over their head, but you'll still see the clan name. But also, does the clan UI, does that change? Does the color of the dot change based on like what settings you have the clan at, or is it all just purple as it stands?
At the minute, it's all just purple.
Okay, cool.
Also, I was gonna demo inviting to the clan, but as I've kicked it doesn't seem like it wants to let me invite her again. So apologies.
Oh, hold on. It's because I'm the leader of it.
No, you're not.
I left team. No, I was the leader of the team. Try now. I left the team.
Yeah, no, I think it's just bugged. The option's not there anymore, unfortunately.
Okay.
Cool. But yeah, any other questions people have about the clan system
Oh
or
yeah.
otherwise?
Yep. Does this mean that team UI is no longer a thing, or at least no longer a thing without the clan table?
The team UI is still a thing as it stands now. You can just create a team on the fly and add people on the fly, and it is related to the team UI limit set by the server owner, and that varies server to server as far as how many people you can have on a team. That is all still the same, and this kind of works in conjunction or parallel to it. So you can have a team with the team UI. You see the people on the bottom left, and it's green dots and all that good stuff. But then you can also have on top of that a clan, and people of the same team can be part of the same clan. You see the people on the map, you see the purple dots over their head, same as you do with normal team UI, but the green dot overrides the purple dot, and they basically run in parallel from what we can see here.
Mm, let me see here. Can you be? No, I think it's the same. Like you just talked about. Can you be in the same clan/team at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, you can be.
So I think about the crafting part. Someone said, so if someone crashes, he keeps crafting.
I think it'll pause the crafting instead of canceling the queue because they crashed. When someone, the change is specifically when someone goes to sleep, which is also if they disconnect, right? Then it doesn't cancel the crafting queue. It no longer cancels it. But I don't think it continues crafting uh, because that doesn't make sense that the sleeping person would continue crafting things. I think it just pauses the queue.
What do you think the reasoning was for adding the clan table? Is it to buff bigger groups even more, or make it harder for smaller groups in general?
You know, honestly, I think it was neither of those. I think the devs came about the idea honestly when they're thinking about the Nexus server to server stuff, the Nexuses, if you will, where basically it's three, two, three, four, even five servers all linked together under one Nexus. And those they'll share a map wipe time and they'll share blueprints database, and then what people are going to be able to do is go to the ferry terminal. It looks like they're going to hop on some form of ferry and then be able to there choose a different nexus to go to. And with that all in mind, I think the devs were thinking, okay, well, we need some form of like team UI, but that will account for this server to server stuff. And that's where I think the clan system came into play, and where the clan table came into play is to really allow one big group to communicate and organize and galvanize across multiple different nexuses or multiple different linked servers, said another way. And so within that, I think that was the genesis of the clan system. This has been in progress for months and months as part of the Nexus. Up until just the other day, it was always paired with the Nexus branches and with that server to server transfer stuff. So it was kind of a surprise to me to see this get merged into just the normal version of the game, because I was under the impression that the clan system would probably only be a thing on Nexus based servers. Now, that was just my that was just my thought of it. But once again, I'm not a developer of the game. We're not on the Face Punch payroll. We just report on development news and run the best servers that we can. So, that was just a guess. But it seems like that guess of mine was wrong because now the clan system is on just any old server from the looks of it. And yeah, it looks like we're still not sure how to craft or if you'll be able to craft a clan table. Maybe the clan table will be really hard to get, so there'll be like a high barrier to entry to allowing people, whereas right now you can create a team on the fly with nothing and get however many the team UI limit is on your team. You see those green dots. If the barrier to entry is much higher to create a clan, then that could be something to stop a group of 100 people all having purple dots over each other's heads. But yeah, really not sure. And
I just to say, Bugs, I don't think it would be because you can actually a lot of the functionality from the table you can do from your inventory as well at the moment with the clans.
but but you have to be at a table to create the clan first, right?
That's
Like
right. Yeah, yeah. To
that's all
create
after you've
the
created a
yeah,
clan
yeah.
at a table, right?
That's it. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it seems so. Depending on how hard it is to get at that table, I think will make an impact.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But really, it's hard to say now. This once again was literally just merged for initial public testing like 2-3 hours ago onto the staging branch. So this is literally the first we're seeing of it on actual staging. And once again, the devs did say it will go live next week if all goes smooth and to plan. So who's to say if it's going smooth or not? I don't really know. I mean, all the functionality does seem to be there. So from that standpoint, it seems functional. It's just as it stands, I don't know. I don't think many people are going to be fans of essentially a 100 player team UI limit on every server. That just, I mean, just seems like people ain't gonna like that. But we'll see. We'll see what they do with it, and maybe they'll just change it and get rid of the purple dots or limit the purple dots over people's head. And uh, yeah, we'll have to see.
I just thought of something. How do you think enemies will show up? So I think, Artemis, if you try to kill me or the other way, like
For the clans.
no, how enemies will look
Yes. So are you asking
color
how
wise.
how an
Yeah.
enemy would look to other clan members, or because if it's just me and you, it's not going to make a difference, right? Because we're not in like it's not going to change anything. If you're an enemy, you'll be red.
Yeah, that's not going to change the red one.
Yeah. So what would you like to join the clan and then for me to kill you?
Yeah, you couldn't add me to the team clan, could you?
Sure.
Yeah, I wonder if you can be in a clan and also enemies. I don't know. With
Oh no,
100
it's
people in there, not
there we
everyone's
go.
going to
There we
get
go.
along, right? So,
Yep.
and yeah, and you can see like the some of the UI stuff is still very much in like kind of debug mode. It's not in finalized mode. So this clearly is still a work in progress. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a number of different things change prior to this going live. And once again, this may not even go live next week. Just because it's on staging now just means they're testing it. And if it's not where they want it to be, then they'll just rip it out of staging prior to the update going live
Dancing
next
as
week.
well, just to make me feel bad. Have you got God
Yeah.
off? Yeah. Did you take God off? Yeah. D.
I didn't have it on.
Oh, okay. Come back. I'm not sure it's gonna make a difference this way. We could see.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Nope. Still pink.
What?
I left the team as well just to make sure.
Yeah, same.
No.
All right. Any other questions we got?
Do a recap. I think there's one or two left.
Yeah, I'll do a little recap here as we got like 10 minutes left. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to do at Miss D _ that's me in chat. So what's going on? We are showing off the initial version of the clan system, which is over here on staging. some interesting features, some robust functionality, really, when it comes to the ranks and the different permissions of the ranks and communicating amongst the clan and adding notes for each clan member and all that stuff. Really, some robust stuff there. The most interesting thing, I think, though, is essentially that there's 100 max limit by default on clans, and your clan members show up like the team UI, but only purple. So you can see them on the map, and you can see purple dots over their head from pretty far out. So it kind of, as it stands now, and anyone feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but it kind of at the moment essentially is like 100-person team UI, which, yeah, but all subject to change. Might not make it in next week. They're really letting it like playing it by ear to see how the testing goes, I think. So we're going to keep a close eye on this, and we'll have full details on our post on rustified.com next week for our update post. And as if you're not aware, rustified.com, I do an article every Thursday. It goes live first thing at midnight Eastern on Thursday, and it summarizes everything going on in development in text and pictures. Now, the article this week doesn't have much of anything on the clan system because literally this was just merged in 2 hours ago to staging. So this is our initial, you know, look at that clan system as well. But we will have more information next week on the article if it is indeed making it in. Other than the clan system, we've got more work on parachutes. It looks like parachutes are definitely out of concept limbo after first being seen in like 2016, 2017. And then last year, we saw some other work on parachutes. And then we didn't see much. Now, the past couple of weeks, we've seen a lot of work on parachutes, including this week working on the functionality for parachutes to be shot and damaged as they are coming down. It looks like parachutes will be this backpack, visible backpack on players' backs unless they're wearing a hazmat suit, and then they'll be able to jump off high places, deploy the parachute. When they land, they'll be able to repack the parachute. It looks like it will have some form of condition, but you'll be able to repack the parachute and reuse it a certain number of times. You can steer as you're going down in the parachute, or you can bust a weapon out and fire, but you can't do both. So you can't fire and steer. And yeah, we're keeping an eye on the parachutes. Don't think they're going to be in for August, maybe September. There's also work on weapon racks. These are over on Aux 1 branch. There's 4 weapon racks at the moment, last we checked. 3 different sizes for mounting on the wall, 1 size for mounting on the floor, or I should just say deploying on the floor. And they're really cool though. They look great on the wall. They have cool lights. There's different sockets all over the each weapon rack to put all the various types of weapons on there, and then they mount up visibly on there. And then if you want to pull one up, you just have to go up to the weapon rack itself and look at the thing you want, and then click E, and it brings it right into your hotbar. So no fiddling through UI elements to drag a weapon from a box to your hotbar. You can just go grab and go, which is cool. Not sure how these are going to be implemented into the game, whether or not they'll be a DLC or just default in the game. They do have cool lights over them as well, which is nice. And we'll keep you posted. They look like they're pretty much done. It looks like the commits are pretty much just working on finishing touches for them, but they're still on Aux 1. So that makes it kind of up in the air as to whether we'll see them next week or not. And if they are a DLC, I imagine we're going to wait for them because there is already another DLC going live next week. That is, of course, the next and newest building skin, the brick skin. This is a skin of the stone building tier, and it's going to be launched as a DLC with the August 3rd update next week. So you'll find it on the item store. You can look around this building that we've got. Notice that one brick foundation we got, that is the actual brick. That's actually part of the Adobe. The brick building skin, the foundations are this like nice gray stone or like slate. And then all the walls and everything are bricks. The inside has a really nice pattern with the wood going through it and the kind of different shade of brick. And then the outside, the facade has some really nice details as well, like the little gables on the roofs and the various different details in the brick and little archways over the windows and the little window sills in the stone. Uh, overall, I love the look and feel. I love the vibe of this thing. And yeah, you got the little keystone, the gray keystone over the doorways. Just really nice looking skin. Like really dig it. So excited to see this come in. Once again, that's going to be a DLC on the item store next week. Speaking of skins, there's also a Frontier building skin coming soon. We saw the initial work on that branch. I think they're calling it the Building Skins 4 branch because this would be the fourth building skin. Apparently, the Frontier building skin is going to be a reflection of the old wood skin from Legacy Rust. And I imagine it will be the first building skin that is for the wood tier as well. And it should bring back some strong nostalgia vibes for anyone who played Legacy, which would be really cool. And then on top of that, they're also working on like a tribalist and or brutalist skin. I think that's all both the same skin, but not clear what that is. And it looks like that's taken a backseat to maybe the frontier skin coming first. Also, we've got work on the attack helicopter has resumed again as of the other week. We saw a lot of work on it earlier this year, and then it kind of, you know, didn't move for a month or two. Now we're seeing movement on the branch again, some finalizing of functionality, and also adding it in to be available for purchase at Airwolf, like the other flying vehicles of the game. So that's the attack helicopter. Not many details on how it will attack and what its functionality will be. But we're also, and I think related to this, seeing the initial work of a homing missile launcher as well. So probably people can get some ground to air action going, have some defense against this new aerial, alpha dog. So we'll see. I don't think that's going to be making it in for August 3rd update. It is over being tested on Aux 2 now, but given all the scope of everything going on, I imagine we're going to have to wait at least another month for the attack helicopter to make it into production. Now, also an interesting change, no longer cancel the crafting queue when a player goes to sleep. So traditionally, if you were crafting stuff and you got disconnected or you went to sleep, everything would be canceled. Now that's not going to be the case. It looks like it'll just pause the crafting if you go to sleep. So that's interesting. Also, they added an extra collider to the tugboat roof to prevent clipping through during sinking. So just a little tweak that new tugboat. They are working on varying models, world models for ammo. And we tested this out, it does work. So the ammo boxes are now different based on how much ammo, how big of a stack of ammo has been dropped. And so if you drop just like a couple bullets, it'll show kind of a mostly empty ammo box. And then if you drop a full stack, the ammo box is full. And this should be reflective for most ammo types, I believe, and that's merged into staging now. There's also a whole bunch of miscellaneous art fixes. There's been like a slew of various fixes to different artistic and graphical elements around the map and in monuments. One of the biggies is, thank God, uh, the power lines no longer look uh, like a pixel chain, no longer just looks like a pixelated mess up there. They actually fixed them so the power lines look more crisp and like actual power lines, not just a bunch of pixels. So that's cool. And they did a whole slew of other miscellaneous art fixes with like various clipping instances with guns clipping through faces, or little views of this and little tweaks of that. So we'll have a summary next week of all the main miscellaneous art fixes that we've seen. We're also seeing the first signs of a tutorial island. So maybe that'll be a place for people to learn the game. There's also more work on Aux 2 on the global networked bases branch. This stands to be a big optimization for base loading and rendering in the game. They're basically making all the individual base pieces become prefabs on the map, similar to how like the trees and the rocks are placed. Ideally, this is going to result in being able to see bases from much farther out, increasing the render distance, and then as you get closer, it'll, like LODs kind of work, it'll up the fidelity of the base as you get closer. So this should limit things like a base loading in and your frames dropping to nothing and your computer hitching for like a second or two. That hopefully will no longer be the case. And then on top of that, you'll just be able to see things from farther out, which is nice. That's once again over on Aux 2. So I don't think it's going to come in for August 3rd, but maybe we'll see it for September or October. There's more work on the new Rail Network line, or I should say Rail Network link. I apologize. And it looks like, and this is just my sense of it, I haven't gotten confirmation from the devs, but it looks like based on commits, this is going to be a link between the above and below rail networks, probably just a little uh, like facet off of one of the rails, and then it'll go into like a tunnel that goes down or goes up if you're already down. So keeping an eye on that. There's a new iteration of Bradley being worked on. It looks like just like visual changes and stuff like that, like a nice graphical update for Bradley. There's also a initial work on an extra small single planter. So if you wanted like a single thing planted in a little planter, maybe on a windowsill or something, I guess, that will be coming in soon. And then also it looks like the server chat emojis, that good old Hack Week project, will actually be making its way into the game next week on the August 3rd update. They're doing some finishing touches on those server chat emojis, but they're really looking nice. They're animated, they're custom. Server owners can add their own emojis if they want. And then you can also, on top of that, do pull up all the icons for any in game item using colon. And then you just start typing the item name in chat and it'll auto complete. So in chat, you can do icons for all sorts of items and stuff along with these new emojis as well. So cool stuff. And that is what we got going on for Rust development this week. Any final questions before we wind this puppy down?
Yes, we have like 6 or something.
Oh, geez. Okay, let's go.
Will team members be able to loot what's crafting when the person is offline?
We need to test this more. We're going to test this week. I don't know what happens to the resources when the person falls asleep, if they're crafting, if they're just going to go into their inventory. If they do, I imagine you'll be able to loot them. And then once the player rejoins, it will cancel the crafting. It wouldn't make sense to have those items be like caught up in some limbo somewhere where no one in the server can access them. Because then, if you think about it, people are just going to start crafting like the most valuable stuff they can and then just disconnect real quick, and that would keep their valuable resources in limbo. So that I can't see being the case, but it definitely does make some interesting changes, this whole not canceling the crafting. What's cool also is if we have server crashes, which we do, because there are two main things that cause server crashes consistently through all Rust servers. It's just part of the nature of the game right now, given the state of Unity and how the game utilizes it. There's AI crashes and PhysX crashes. And when those happen, traditionally, if someone's crafting a bunch of stuff, they lose all the items, all the resources that they were crafting on restart. This hopefully changes that too, which is cool. But we'll keep you posted on that. Not fully tested yet.
Did we ever confirm or find out if the chat emojis counts as one character or the entire emoji name towards the character count?
Last I checked, it was still the entire emoji name towards the character count.
Yeah, same last I checked.
We'll try to test that again before next week.
Do you think tugboats will also get better rendered?
I don't know, maybe. We're seeing some tweaks with the art changes and stuff, and some various other tweaks to like colliders on the tugboat. So I imagine they could tweak, the render distance and the rendering of that. I wouldn't be surprised because it's such a new thing to the game.
Is the mandatory update today?
Nope. Mandatory update is first Thursday of every month. So this is the last Thursday of the month. So we got one more week, August 3rd at 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. BST is when we expect the update to go live. So basically, exactly 1 week from today, 1 week and negative 4 minutes from now. And that's when the update should go live. And it'll force a map wipe. No sign of a blueprint wipe, although most Rustified servers do wipe blueprints with the exception of medium threes. And yeah, we'll be back, of course, same time, same place to give an update preview stream.
Speaking of wiping, is there a reason that medium 3 servers don't wipe BPs and will always be like that?
Yeah, we just had a lot of people request that we had servers that don't wipe blueprints, and we just chose the medium threes out of our, server family because I don't know, that's just the one we chose, but it was just due to popular demand that we did that. And I think a lot of people do like having an option where blueprints don't wipe, although the vast majority of people do like blueprint wipes. So that's why we just do it on 2 servers out of our 40 servers.
Do you think SEM sites will shoot at parachutes?
That's an interesting question. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I'll give it a solid maybe.
I see one just typing, y'all posted about a mandatory update that wasn't force wipe last week. That's what I meant.
Oh yeah, sorry. No, it doesn't look like that update is happening. They did announce like last week. They're like, we might do a mandatory update this week, as in last week, and then a day later they were like, actually, we're probably going to do a mandatory update next week. And so I posted about it, but no sign of a mandatory update this week either. So it's probably at this point now just waiting until Force Swipe next week, August 3rd.
Is attack helicopters a new type of minicopter?
Yeah, the attack helicopter is going to be, I think, like minicopters, maybe Big Brother. So yeah, I think it's going to have a different look. It might be a similar size. It looks like it's going to have still be a 2-person chopper, but as it stands, we haven't seen any visuals on the minicopter, so it's hard to say. We've only seen commits.
And I think this is last. Hi, Rust admin. I really, really, really love your game, but please, can you do something about cheaters? They destroy my mental every white, bro.
Dude,
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Love you. Love your job.
love you too, first of all. And bruh, let me tell you, they
Bruh.
mentally they get at me too. Now I do want to clarify a couple things. One, we are not the developers of the game. We are not the owners of the game. We are not on the Face Punch payroll. We are just an independent organization who loves reporting on development news and running the best servers that we can. And I do want to take a moment to thank everyone for tuning in. Thank everyone for bits and for subs on Twitch, and to our wonderful, beautiful, loyal VIP customers. Thank you all so much, because literally we couldn't do this each week and run the servers that we do if we didn't have the support of the community. So really, from the bottom of my heart, I thank and love each and every one of you for the support. Now, that being said, when it comes to cheaters, it's a big problem with the game. We at Rustafied are doing everything we can, including developing our own third-party anti-cheat solution, because EAC and VAC and the internal anti-cheat game mechanics are not cutting it. They have not been cutting it for a while, and they are not cutting it. So we were kind of forced to just start developing our own anti-cheat, and we've been doing that. I'm happy to say it's rolled out. We're still iterating on it, and it's working very well. It's getting rid of a lot of hackers way before we can even log in to find them, and it's getting rid of them, especially way before fucking EAC does, because what we see time and time again is someone's hacking in the server, then 2 days later they get EAC banned. And I got news for you. If that hacker has 2 days to run around the server, they can ruin so many people's wipes. And this is not a game like fucking Valorant or Counter-Strike where it's just, oh, my 15-minute round was ruined. No, people spend hours and days of their time building up this stuff, and to have it be ruined by a hacker in a matter of minutes is devastating. And so the impact to hackers in this game is so much more impactful than most other games. And that's why it needs to be addressed. It's not being properly addressed by the powers that be. And I'm not even mainly pointing at Facepunch here. I'm pointing at EAC. I'm calling EAC out on this shit. They're called easy anti-cheat. They should get rid of these hackers quicker and more effectively. And I haven't seen any significant improvement to their performance over the past year. And last year, they banned, as in Facepunch and EAC, game banned over 800,000 people. And that's with 2 million individuals going through the official server list, 800,000 individuals or individual accounts. Now, granted, multiple one hacker can use multiple accounts throughout the year, so it's not a direct correlation like that. It's not to say 1 in every 2 people is hacking, but it is to say they ban a fuck ton of accounts. It's a huge problem, and we've brought on more admins to physically patrol the servers and get rid of people. We've, as I said, been implementing our own third-party anti-cheat solutions and doing everything that we can to get rid of these hackers as soon as possible. I work my ass off, and our team works our ass off every day, every week, to get rid of hackers as soon as we can. I so appreciate the people who do great reports. In Rustified servers, you can do /report in game. We're also working and about to launch in a couple weeks a brand new reporting system where it'll be a website where you can go through, select the server you're on. It'll show all the recent people who killed you, so it's easy to find who you think is hacking. You can select them, put in notes, put in evidence, and then track your report after the fact, see the status of it, chat with admins through this whole system. So I'm also investing a lot of money, quite frankly, in a brand new reporting system so that we can better triage the reports that we get, because we get 10,000 reports plus a month just for our servers, and we have a limited staff of people. So it is like it's like a garden hose on a forest fire, I'll be honest. And we're trying to up the size of our hose. You know how that goes. But man, is it an uphill battle. And what we really need is EAC to get their shit together. And I don't want to have like a 5-minute rant every single update stream that this comes up. And it feels like I have the last couple weeks if you are a regular tune in-er. But fuck, man, I am at my limits here. It's like, shit, we got to do something about this hacker situation, because it's it's bad. It's not good. It's not good. I am happy to say though that we at Rustified servers, and given the specific things that we internally as an organization have done, we are much more adept now at getting rid of hackers quicker, uh, finding them quicker, and removing them quicker than most other servers running just vanilla anti-cheat. And so I'm proud of that. I'm happy about that. We're continuing to develop that. We're continuing to make that better. And I have to say, man, I really shouldn't have to invest thousands of my own dollars in developers to create my own anti-cheat, when who knows how much Facepunch has paid EAC. And then they got bought by Fortnite, and now they're just fucking around, on emotes on Fortnite or some shit. I don't know what they're doing, but they got to come back and pay some attention to Rust. And I will say that straight. And I probably will keep saying that until something happens. But I might just be howling at the moon over here. But if that's the case, then I'm just gonna keep doing it. There we go. I'm a little sweaty
I'm
now. The
into
hack,
that.
and it's all to say,
Here, here.
I feel y'all on the hacker situation. It bothers me so much. It bothers me every fucking day. It's a nuisance, and
Yeah,
it's
we've
got to
all
be
been there.
addressed.
Okay, so I think that no more questions.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I'm done after that one. But no,
End it with a
I
how.
I do just honestly want to thank everyone who does send in quality reports. You can do /report in game or go to our Discord. I encourage you, instead of in game, to go to our Discord, because then you get a report ID printed out that you can easily copy. And then if you want to follow up on your report, you can ask an admin, hey, can you look at report and the report ID? Please don't go into our Discord and say, hey, this guy with this name is hacking in this server, because calling them out in public does not help make our job easier. But to all of you who do put in quality reports day after day and help us out, I really do thank you, and that makes a big difference. And ideally, like, I am committed that we do everything we can at Rustified to make this better. It's unfortunate that we have to be creating our own solutions for this, but I'll do it, and we are doing it. But but I do intend, and I am committed that we do everything we do to get rid of hackers as soon as possible. So I do appreciate everyone who understands the situation that we're in, and can have a little compassion and patience for that situation. But don't stop putting in reports, and do keep an eye out for our new reporting system, because that's going to be a huge improvement on all ends for us to triage and manage this stuff. But yeah, I think with that, we will wind this puppy down, because we're about 14 minutes over schedule. And I got some errands to run, and we got the US servers to wipe. So I want to thank everyone once again. Once again, we're an independent organization. We're not on the Facepunch payroll. We just run the best servers that we can and report on development news each week. And we do that only through the support of the community. So to everyone who supports us, really thank you so much. Much love to you all. And to Artemis and Miss D, thank you as always for being my co-MCs here.
As always, you're welcome.
Yep, you're most welcome.
And with that, we will be back next week for the update stream. We'll show off everything that you can expect to see coming in the update next week that will go live with the forced wipe. Also, check out Rustafied, and it's rustafied.com, and you can check us out on Rustafied on Twitter and other socials for stuff throughout the week. And we're starting, if you're a skin creator, we're starting our charitable Rust skin contest very shortly. So if you want a chance to get VIP, a year of VIP on all Rustified servers, and have a huge positive impact helping generate funds for charity, then keep an eye on our Twitter and stuff for the charitable Rust skin contest. That'll be starting. Also, mark your calendars October 14th, Charitable Rust, October 14th and 15th this year, actually. It's going to be a Saturday and Sunday. Mark your calendars. Oh, also, Rustopia is having a charity event this weekend. So check it out. Check out, I think it's rustopia.events or something like that. Look for them on Twitter. They're doing an awesome charity event, and I want to shout them out and encourage you all to check that charity event out this weekend. We'll definitely be doing so.
That's it.
And
Rustopia Invitational, I think it's called.
yeah, perfect. So definitely check it out also for a great cause. And yeah, we'll be back next week. In the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week and a wonderful wipe. This is Bugs signing off.